Yeah, what's going on, you fiddlers? Nick Daniels here, coming to live, man. You hit again today, man. We're actually just out at Crystal Crescent Beach, and we're gonna fly the drone here for a few minutes. So I figured we'd make a little video, man. We'd make a little talk. So anyway, talking about a couple cook things here, but the topic of the actual video, you know where it's going. It's online dating. But I will just briefly mention the subscriber thing. So yeah, I don't really know what happened, man, but. If you weren't looking at the channel at the time, we were 831 subscribers, and over 2 days it jumped to like 1,000. It was like 1,100, and then I noticed it like start to kind of go down a little. So it got to the 1,100, and then it started slowly clawing its way down, and actually just dramatically went from like 1,000 something, 60 something, 90 something, and it dropped all the way right back down to 841 or something like that, which is like still actually above what I was at. I was 831. But yeah, so it dropped all the way down. So don't get your hopes up about monetizing anytime soon. But don't worry about it. It's all good. It just felt too good to be true. So don't worry. I wasn't too shocked when it actually revealed what it was. I was like, that's fine. No, man, I want to talk about just online dating for just a couple quick minutes while we're out on this beach. I'm just waiting for this couple to go along here so we can start flying. And it's funny because I was out the other night with a couple mates, and it definitely seems to be like everybody's kind of in the same boat, that it just sucks. And someone was they were telling me a bunch of things that I thought was just really hilarious, and I was educating them on online dating, like, how it goes. And it's just some things that it's surprising to me that some people don't really know. But like, like I was explaining like dopamine hits, but in there, right? Like you go on Bumble and you get a like, that's a dopamine hit, right? You have a profile that has already liked you, and of course naturally it's like blurred out and everything, so you have to go pay to get it, or that you can try to swipe through and find them. And then I was like, when I explained that the majority of people who pay for these apps are men, it also surprised them. Like I use Bumble and Hinge, no problems with that. I don't mind. I'm not the end of the world. But when you look at those apps, I'm only using them as just something in the background. Like I'm not like actively, like, I mean, I'm looking at Bumble, I'm checking, but I'm not like, my whole life isn't around it. Like I'm doing my regular thing, and you just let that simmer in the background. Like, it's like if you put on a steak on the pan, right? You're not watching it every couple seconds, so you're just gonna go do something. You'll come back, you might flip it, and that's all you're doing there, right? And you just treat it like that. You treat it as such, and you don't take it seriously, and trust me, it pans out. It works a lot better, because the realistic expectation for an average looking guy is you're not going to get that many matches, right? I told somebody there that I had like maybe one a month, and they were genuinely surprised about that number. They thought it would be way more, and at the frequency that I mentioned, like I have a bad date or something. They were like, oh my god, like there's no way. And that's like, trust me, I really don't go on a date that often. And when I do, they end up going kind of sour 90% of the time. Honestly, it's probably more than that, to be honest, percent-wise. But needless to say, I think that's what you do, man. You treat it as a game, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of taking it easy on them. I'm just enjoying them, honestly. I don't have a problem with them or not. But I'd rather have them and just have them sitting in the background than not, like collecting matches, if you think of it that way. The other thing too, I'll just mention, I don't want to make this too long here, but the other thing I'll mention as well is that I do have that video coming up for the Happen dating app. Now, I think I did talk about it one time, but it's a user request, so a viewer request. So one of you guys did request it, and it's coming. I downloaded the app, and it's coming. And I'm also going to do Scout in 2022, because I did Scout before, and we're gonna relook at it again, because it's been ages since I've done Scout. But I will say about Happen, it's got an interesting system, because it works on how you, like, oh god, the couple over here's hugging now and they're kissing. Disgusting. Just soured. But yeah, but Happen works out really interesting in my opinion, because it's like who you happen upon. Sorry, I had another cough coming. I couldn't talk. But it's who you happen upon. So if you're walking by people in a city, it's going to say like, oh, you bumped into so-and-so a couple hours ago. But the problem is there seems to be no way of filtering or anything. So I think it's just going to make it really interesting. But anyway, I've got it. I've got the video coming, so I don't know. It definitely give me a few days on that for sure, but something tells me, you know, I'm probably not going to get a match, but I want to like walk around enough that it bumps people. But I think you just get near them. You just get near enough to them, and then it just triggers and be like, hey, you were near so and so, you know. So anyway, that'll be interesting. There's a boat just flying right towards this beach. Here, before we end the video, I'll give you guys a shot here. Sorry, it's a little bright here. So here's the couple. Don't worry about that. Just gonna zoom right in here, so you can see. Yeah, there's the couple, and then there's this boat just coming right along the water here, which I think is kind of funny. Like, this is a beach. He's just coming right in. Get a zoom in on what's going on. Interesting. Yeah, and then we got people over here too, but yeah, whatever. It's all couples. I'm like literally the only person by themselves. That's pretty standard, but don't worry about it. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We're gonna see you in the next one. I'm gonna play the waiting game, I think, here, and then we'll go from there. Take it easy. Peace.